Seated on the metro platform, Rachel observed as a stream of people passed by, each engrossed in their own world. The next train was slated to arrive in a matter of minutes. She discerned this merely by observing the passengers gathering for boarding. However, the purpose of Rachel's presence there was not tied to catching that train. "Mommy, I'm hungry, and my leg is hurting," spoke the frail, desperate voice of Dave, her 6-year-old ailing son, lying on her lap. Rachel knew she had run out of money after spending everything on lunch. She placed an empty cup in front of her and began singing a song close to her heart. The people distracted by her sweet voice seemed oblivious to her pain. Most were busy on their phones, some searching for a coin or two to toss into her cup, and some didn't even bother to look. Rachel didn't care about their ignorance. She was there seeking alms in exchange for a song she hummed all her life. She stared at the dirty floor beneath her desperate eyes, wore a long face, and sang the melody she'd always sung her little boy to sleep. "God, please help me overcome my struggles. Even if all these people put in a coin each, I'd have enough to buy my son dinner and an ointment," she thought while singing. A few minutes later, Rachel heard some coins tossed into her cup. She did not smile and painfully looked up to thank the person through her tears. It was understandable that she was just another desolate homeless person with a child, using her talent to make a living. Several minutes passed as Rachel kept singing the song again and again. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The train arrived, and people started boarding it while a few others got off, flocking toward the main exit. Rachel took a little break to see if her son was all right. "Dave, darling, just a few minutes more, and then move from here, all right?" Dave puffed heavily. He was hungry and in pain due to his injured leg. 2 days ago, Dave had a terrible fall while he was playing. It happened in the same parking lot where the mother and son usually slept on a stack of old cardboard gathered from the dumpster. The train sped past the platform, jolting Rachel to the present. She coughed, adjusted her voice, and started to sing the melody again. But this time, a wealthy man who had just gotten off the train was eerily drawn to her voice and the lyrics. It was 27-year-old Jeffrey, who, for some reason, realized that he had heard this song before. "That song? I have heard it before, but who is singing it? And how does she know the lyrics that only my granny's sister and I knew?" He wondered, approaching the spot where Rachel was. As Jeffrey neared the spot, tears slowly rose in his eyes. Rachel was immersed in her sweet melody when a long shadow of a man fell on her, distracting her. "Oh my God, Rachel, is it you? Jesus, I am so sorry," sobbed Jeffrey, falling to his knees. "Please forgive me for doing this to you, sister." Rachel's heart began to throb faster. It felt like it wanted to plop out of its chamber because, at that moment, all of Rachel's past pain came rushing back. "Brother? Oh my God, Jeffrey, is it you?" she cried. The siblings stared at each other in tears, looking back at that one mistake Jeffrey made 18 years ago that cost Rachel more than just her happiness. When Jeffrey and Rachel were little, they lost their parents in a car crash. They moved in with their grandma, Alice, who cared for them in their parents' shoes. She was all that they had. Whenever the siblings were depressed thinking about their parents, she often sang them a beautiful melody to comfort them. "Sing this song whenever your heart feels heavy, and you will feel much better," she often said, cradling Jeffrey and Rachel in her arms. The family was happy with the little they had. There were no troubles in their paradise until one day when Alice died of a heart attack. Her loss was unbearable, and the kids were sent to a shelter before they could even get over it or mourn properly. It was here that Jeffrey got a new beginning to mend his life. A wealthy couple adopted him while Rachel stayed back. Nobody wanted her because she limped. They just saw her disability, not her heart, which longed for love and care. Rachel was crushed, but she was comforted when Jeffrey promised to return for her. But who knew that he would break her heart along with that promise? "I promise to come back for you, sister. Stay strong and wait for me. I'll come and take you with me," 9-year-old Jeffrey promised before bidding a painful goodbye to his sister. That fateful day was the last time when Rachel saw Jeffrey. He never came back for her. Jeffrey was allured by his newfound wealthy life and slowly forgot about his little sister and his promise to her. He assumed somebody would adopt her, but fate had something else in store for poor Rachel. Rachel was of her own accord when she moved out of the shelter after turning 18. She fell in love with a man and dreamed of raising a family together. Rachel was young, beautiful, and madly in love. She trusted him and believed he would be her everything, but she was wrong. Rachel's dreams ended the day her boyfriend dumped her when she revealed her pregnancy. Having lost all hope in life, she pulled herself together to live for her baby, feeding off the pain inside her. Poor Rachel found no job as nobody was ready to take her in without prior experience. They only saw her disability as an evil excuse not to hire her. Rachel's life had been a constant struggle, but her heart found solace when she held baby Dave in her arms for the first time. Despite her homelessness, she was determined to provide for her son's needs. With unwavering courage, Rachel visited various metro and bus stations daily, singing the song her grandmother had taught her in exchange for whatever help people could offer. "And this is what I've been doing to raise my son," she cried. Jeffrey, now a wealthy business tycoon following in his adoptive father's footsteps, couldn't escape the guilt that washed over him, leaving him with no answers. As onlookers watched, he did something unthinkable. "Sis, I'm sorry. I know sorry seems insignificant compared to the struggles you've endured, but I promise to make your days better from now on," he said, gently lifting ailing Dave into his arms. Rachel was taken aback, struggling to balance herself on a cane due to her limp. Jeffrey wrapped his arm around Rachel's shoulder and said, "Let's go home, sis." Tears of warmth and joy streamed down Rachel's cheeks. For the first time in years, she cried tears of happiness, feeling her heart light up with her brother's embrace. On that day, after 18 dreadful years of separation, Jeffrey and Rachel reunited. Not only did Jeffrey provide them with shelter in his luxurious home, but he also covered all expenses for little Dave's treatment. He hired a spa therapist to pamper his sister and give her a makeover, erasing the emotional scars that had haunted her for so long. In today's competitive world, many chase after money, but does that mean that they can forget their loved ones? Should siblings like Jeffrey prioritize relationships over financial success? The story raises important questions about the value of familial love and the significance of cherishing relationships over mere wealth.